What's going on, everyone? My name is Echelon 3000, and I'm here giving you my tier list of the Once Upon a Galaxy captains, is particularly going into the new patch. They've updated some of the captains as well as the shared card pool. That's all posted on Once Upon a Galaxy's website. I will link those patch notes in the description. And so now that we're looking into it, before we have all the candy spells in front of us, I'm going to do kind of a tier list to do like a check in to see where we are for this next month on the captains before all the candy stuff's introduced. So let's get started. It's going to be a good time. Artemis. Artemis is the captain that allows you to go to the secret shop. Oh, I should talk about the brackets first. The S ranking is always competitive. Once you start playing on like high level lobbies or on a competitive level basis, the S category captains are who you should pick, and you should never skip them if you want to be competitive. It's if you see them, take it, try to make it work. You'll likely do fine. The A is just always good. No matter what rank, no matter what lobby, if you take these, you're always going to do fine, but it won't be the most broken. A lot of good captains in A. B is for a specific build. If they could be very strong, like A or maybe S powerful, but you really need to get a specific set of cards in there for it, that's what B is going to be for. C is you're going to have to put in some work. These are captains that you are going to have to want them to win. And they sometimes won't help you back, but they can be strong. D is you're going to have to work and get lucky. It's not easy to sometimes, you can sometimes do everything right and it still doesn't work out, either shops or treasures or what, and those are the D rings. And the F is just for fun. We're having a good time. Okay, Artemis. I have Artemis in C rank. My issue with Artemis is that there are a lot of fast decks now. The different candy builds, the different sort of animal builds that are aggressive will just get under an Artemis deck most of the time, and where you might even get to see your secret shop without getting beaten down. These secrets are also kind of, they don't just like hit the board and immediately have a great impact against some of the more established decks, like especially like pirates. So while Artemis's top end can be crazy high, like I've seen some insane Artemis boards, Artemis itself is kind of at a C. Athena. Athena is your quintessential A-rank captain. Athena's just good. The effect is if your stuff dies, it gets bigger. If your stuff lives, it gets bigger. Really good. It allows you to play pretty much everything, and that's powerful. It's never going to be the most broken, but always a fair shake for top three. It's quite good. Boy Who Cried Werewolf is also an A and a personal favorite of mine. Boy Who Cried Werewolf basically allows you to have a lot of agency in your draft where you're trying to pick animals at the right time so then you can get a sweet double buff on whatever you take after. It's a nice way to play an animal centered deck that also pivots into a bigger strategy. I think it's not the best at it's not the best animal captain right now, but it's definitely the second best. I enjoy the Boy Who Cried Werewolf a lot. A lot of experience playing that. Sharon. Sharon says your captains have your United Captains. Your first creature has farewell +1/+1. Uh, when you replace a golden card, it gets +5/+5 onto that ability. So your next one's +6/+6, third one's +11/+11, etc. Sharon is okay. I have Sharon in C rank, probably ahead of Artemis. Sharon is one of those leaders where it's really good defense early. If your stuff dies, it gets a little bigger and makes it more unlikely to lose two fights in a row. You needing to power through silver gold characters to get the ability to go bigger is kind of rough. Sharon's definitely one of the lower tier kind of toy builds, which toys are going to be held pretty highly in this. As of right now, toys are probably the best faction in the game. And so Sharon is a good toy leader, not the best. It's okay. There's Sharon isn't great, but you got to play well to make it work. The CEO, the Chief Evil Officer, and we're going to do the where is King Arthur at the same time. I have both of these in the D rank. These aren't bad, but you do need to find specific builds to make them work. You need to, in your early shops, get heroes so you have those early game defenses. Like, you can't see animals, you can't see toys. You will then also need, or the same for villains as well, you will then also want to have a pretty well constructed deck so that you're filling your shared pool with those heroes and villains that you want to work. So you need to have a lot of cards unlocked for a specific custom deck, and you also need to kind of get lucky in your early pools. If you do that, King Arthur and CEO have very powerful uncommon treasures that can make them strong, but it's hard to get there. I think you gotta kind of know what you're doing with cards that are in your deck, but also get lucky on your shop. So I have them both in the D rank. Chuck E. Chuck E is my first S rank. Chuck E is probably one of the most locks for top three that you can get outside of maybe Athena, with also the potential to go first. The toy decks are very strong right now. The the board breakers that you can get because of, oh, actually, I just thought of something. So we're actually dropping Chuck E down to A, not S. It was S while the shared card pool included the Mystic Mop, the Frankenstein, the Spoiled Prince, but all those cards have been removed from the shared pool and you can't add them to your deck. The removing of Frankenstein, Spoiled Prince, Mop, all those cards being removed make it very hard for the toy deck to kind of last in the mid to late game. This means that toy decks are going to get a little bit worse in terms of like staying alive early. They still have very powerful end board pieces with like Chip and Barrel of Monkeys, but you're going to have to get them. You have to work for that. I probably have Chucky at the very top of A still. Being able to make your stuff much bigger is very important, but it's not as good as it used to be, I would say. Dorothy. Dorothy's a B. You do need to quest a lot, and you need to find quests to make it work. If you do that, gain a lot of treasures is very powerful. Especially with the new treasures printed and the ones that like kind of chain other treasures, the rare treasure that gets you a common, the epic treasure that gets you other stuff. You want to be questing a lot in this upcoming patch, particularly before the candy stuff. And so if you want to be questing to get those great treasures, Dorothy's going to be awesome. You do need to find specific cards to make it work, but it's pretty good. Dr. Aegon. D for Dr. Aegon. Dr. Aegon is really low impact. The treasures you get, while the treasure pool at rare has been increased, and I'd say at uncommon been increased, so you're more likely to get a better treasure early on than you used to be. It's still not quite there yet. They even printed a treasure that is Dr. Aegon, and that's kind of, and it's not even a great treasure. So that's kind of where Dr. Aegon is. If it all works out for you, you'll crush. Most of the time, you'll lose. Dragon Mother. Dragon Mother is a C, probably ahead of Artemis, somewhere in here. Dragon Mother is kind of a weird captain where you have no defenses, and a lot of the defenseless champions are going to be down here. Sharon obviously being slightly an exception. The defenseless option that Dragon Mother gives you is a real burden. But the increase in card quality at Epic has made it so Dragon Mother is almost always producing something great. Every once in a while, you're going to get a Cheshire Cat or with that pirate fairy that's just not quite what you're doing. But a lot of times you're going to get something very powerful now. And so Dragon Mother has gone up a little bit for me. Still not great. Still, you're going to have to draft really defensively to try to preserve your hearts, but it's pretty powerful. Dungeon Master's a B. Just like how I described how the treasure pool at uncommon and rare has gotten better, that just makes Dungeon Masters increase quest rarity go way up. The What you get from those treasures now, like when you do a common quest and get an uncommon or an uncommon quest and get a rare, that value has gone way, way up than what it used to be. So even though you still need to find those questers and then succeed at them, they're much stronger. But the addition to extra common questers and better treasures to get makes Dungeon Master great. I probably have her just below Dorothy. Electrake, also in B. I have Electrake towards the top. There are a ton of ways to get a ton of treasures, and Electrake makes them all better. It's not the best treasure one to get. Obviously, we're going to talk about him later, but really, really good. Geppetto, I also have in B. There's going to be a lot of B ones. Geppetto is again the second best toy captain. Toys are still very powerful with less top end. You have a harder time surviving the late game with Chucky, mostly because Chucky makes your toys villains, and being able to have villains gives you access to Poison Apple, which is a huge end game piece for Chuck E, and that increases the win rate by a lot. Geppetto doesn't really have access to that. It's really good at getting through the early game, but the late game kind of falls off. If you can get them dead, he's fine. Otherwise, kind of mid. Hades. Where does Hades go? Hades says trigger your first farewell ability twice. I think I'm going to put Hades in C, but Hades could be a B. The first farewell effect is very powerful. You know, if you only have one on your field, you get to do the one you want a lot. Really good in those treasure decks with the toy dragon, the mechanical toy dragon. Really good just in the early game when you're just trying to get a little bit of buffs. But if you can't control it or when it happens, Hades can get worse. I'm actually going to move Hades to the bottom of B. As I'm talking about this, I think the power level is still pretty high while still having decent good defense with taking toy cards early. Hades is good. You got to work a little bit, but Hades is good. Hannibal is the first S. Hannibal didn't really lose much with the new cards being moved from the share pool. They added some very powerful animals to go with it in Papa Bear and some powerful relics as well with the hull. It fills slots in rarity. It's still powerful. Still had to get nerfed. Hannibal is our S tier. Very strong. Just play Hannibal, pick animals, you'll figure it out. Indiana Clones. I'll give Indiana Clones the bottom of C because I'm nice, but really, you the best Indiana Clones decks I've seen have been broken. They also had to get crazy lucky to get broken, and so don't love them, but they're okay. Jack Sparrow, now known as Jay Sparrow, I'm going to put I'm going to put in B, but pretty high up in B, probably somewhere here. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think that's all pretty good. The pirate decks are strong. The pirate decks really didn't lose a lot in the early game. They got to keep Despicable Smee and the new card pool changes, and getting to some powerful legendaries early is just good. If you get your hunt abilities triggering, you will probably spiral out. And if you have a good deck that includes Blackbeard and the Innkeeper, you can probably just win relatively quickly because of that. Jack Sparrow or Jay Sparrow, my apologies, is very good. Jason of the Argonauts. You have to get good leaders. You have to get good cards that let you make it to the late game. And if you do both those things, you'll be okay. You'll be powerful, but not like crazy powerful. Um, yeah, I'm low on Jason. I don't think Jason's very good. But let's talk about a good captain. King Midas. King Midas is the next S tier and probably the third best S tier. One of the things that King Midas always did was provide you decent early game stats. When you can gold stuff really quickly, especially if you have a filled out deck, you just get to get a little further ahead than your opponent. And now with the relic pool at the lower rarities, at uncommon and rare being so strong, getting those cards gold earlier really pays off. It's going to work very well in your favor to do that, and that's just going to make King Midas spiral even more than it used to. It's strong. Play it, have a good deck for it, you'll do well. The Lightning Thief. I have the Lightning Thief in C tier. Now, previously, Lightning Thief was in D tier, but the ability to hold on to specific spells to cast them later, especially with the new powerful legends like Friar Tuck, means that just casting extra spells matters a lot, way more than it used to. And so Lightning Thief is going to go up in the rankings. It's currently at C. I think it's going to go up. It's not the best spell base leader. We're going to talk about them in a moment, but the but Lightning Thief is better than it used to be. I would definitely consider giving it a fair shake. Speaking of a good spell captain, though, Lil Genie. Lil Genie's an A. Lil Genie is not the best in this tier of powerful captains, but you want to be casting spells with this new update to the pool, and the spells you cast are going to be great with Lil Genie. Another good breadcrumbs captain. All the captains are good breadcrumbs captains, but this one especially is good. Pick it. It's strong. It's a fun time. Loki. Loki. I think Loki goes to S. I think Loki's behind these two, but uh, Loki. There's a lot of power into having a board full of mages and casting a spell on one of them that then goes to the other one. It leads to some of the most broken turns, makes Eureka absolutely insane, as well as it then turns bad boards into good boards, especially early on. Just casting any spell twice, like, look at those teeth or something like that. Loki is very good, and with how good mages are in this new era pre Candylar, I think Loki's going to become one of the best captains to play. Really excited for it. Oh, Maximus. Sorry, Maximus. It's just not that good. The leader pool, the card pool for what you get off Maximus has gone up, but not high enough to justify the inclusion. It's there to do a thing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If you take Maximus, you got to be a Maximus enjoyer like myself, but it's not that good. Just F for fun. Let's move it along. Melody. Melody is B tier for me. Probably ahead of Electrake, but behind the Questers. Melody is really powerful at doing a couple specific things in the game. The the buffs that you're getting from the spells matter, and you want to be casting spells on this new patch, but needing to needing to put more work in it into something like Little Genie or Merrily we're going to talk about really kind of makes her fall off a little bit. She's not bad by any stretch of the definition, but you do need to be a little more focused in your drafting, especially early on, like when to take spells early. You can't just be willy-nilly with it like Loki or Little Genie. You have to kind of focus. So it's not amazing, but it's pretty good. Merrily though, Merrily's real good. Merrily is good early game stats, good late game payoffs. You have reasons to take. You have reasons to recruit cards. You have reasons to play spells. Merrily is very similar to Athena in terms of power level. Actually, I gotta switch that. Very similar to Athena in terms of power level, but slightly different axis of attacks. Merrily goes bigger than Athena, but they're both very comparable. If you play them, you'll probably do well. They're good. Merryweather, on the other hand, I think I have Merryweather in D. And kind of over here, I think. Giving your supports their own support abilities is good. Using supports that are good is hard. Yes, if you get Oberon and Titanium, they both give plus 20 plus 20 at the turn. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. You're giving plus 100 to your board. If you don't do that, you're kind of getting run over. It's not amazing. If you get the fairy deck, where you get all the fairies and your shop gets huge, you can absolutely win with Merryweather. But you need to get the good fairies. You need to have a good deck to get the good fairies, and then you still need to get a little lucky to not die. Not amazing, not the worst by any stretch, but actually, you're right. You're right. She's better than that, but not by much. Even still, not great. Lamppost is a C. Lamppost is better than Indiana Clones because getting to build a deck around a card rather than a treasure is important. And so it definitely makes Lamppost a little bit more powerful, but the you still have no survivability. You still need to kind of work to get there. But if you do it, it can be very strong. So it's with how good the legendaries have gotten. Like if you just get to assume you're going to get a Friar Tuck on turn 7, you can build around that and be crazy. But if you're taking a Long John Silver, you're kind of upset. So it's tough. It's Lamppost is better than Indiana Clones, but not by much. Okay, moving right along, we can get to the saddest part of this, and that's the new princess animal. Princess Animal used to say all your animals are all types. The patch notes notated that they wanted Princess Animal to not just make everything a candy because it makes everything crazy pretty quick, and so they've since changed her to your silver and gold animals are all types. This is rough. You don't get the incidental bump for the fairies when you just take an animal. It's harder to just recruit other stuff to get advantages because you still have to take animals. So your incidental like pan shadow pick or something like that, you can't really take that if there's a silver animal to take because you have to make your animal something. Is she bad? Absolutely not. But is she as good as she used to be? Absolutely not. Um, I'm hoping Princess Animal comes back around, but we'll see. Professor Who's Who has gone up for me a little bit. Another D tier captain, but just the necessity of how important it's going to be chaining shops together means Professor Who's Who could really be powerful. I think I still have it behind Lamppost though. The the having to get incidental shops and incidental spell shops is going to be very powerful with the new stuff. As we keep saying, all those spell based leaders are going way up. Um, I think that it's one of those things where if you are trying to do well with this, you probably can, but you still have to play pretty well to do it. I think Professor Who is close, but not quite there, but better than it used to be for sure. Silversmith, F, F for Silversmith. While getting more stuff silver matters more than it used to, it's still not good. You need to. The treasures for it are better, but you still need to do it. It is possible that after playing more this season, we come back to this and say, you know what, Silversmith getting any relic at the uncommon rare tier makes it better, so it works. Great. For now, it's still F. I think that it could be a D tier captain, but as of today, it's not. Speaking of the worst captain, Sir Galahad. Sir Galahad is in the same vein of like Indiana clones and Doc and Maximus and stuff, where it's just like even if you do the thing, it's not that good. Sir Galahad's not very good. Definitely not the worst one yet, but it's pretty bad. But you know what? I've talked about Silversmith is moving up. Silversmith is moving up. I think that the relics are good enough to justify Silversmith. Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like this now. Skip the time skipper. Speaking of getting better shops, getting better stuff, he's a B. You have to defend yourself pretty good in order to make it work. But if you do, getting those higher tier stuff sooner is really powerful. Skip is good. It's a specific playstyle to kind of understand, but it's very strong. I like it. Collector F. Sorry, collector. Even if you lose a lot of hearts early, the buffs get better. But if you lose a lot of hearts early, you might just die. If you lose a lot of hearts late, you just don't have a captain. Nah, not good. Sorry. Thing in the Ice I have above Jason and probably above King Arthur and CEO, but still not great. It's just the randomness of it is so punishing. Doubling up on a captain's ability can be very strong, as with the relics that the duplicator says, but that's when you got to pick your captain, not when it was random. It's definitely not that bad, but it's not that great. I think it's gonna come back though. Nah, it's not. Okay, this little piggy is an A. This little piggy is good. Shops are good. This gives you a lot of shops. It gives you advantages early. It gives you advantages later. It's just pretty powerful. It lets you do whatever you want, and it's always going to be fine. But now, Trash Panda. Trash Panda. Trash Panda is really, really good with these new relics. There are so many things that give you incidental common relics, and Trash Panda doubles all of them. And the common relics are pretty good now. Trash Panda is strong. I think I'm putting it at the top of S because I'm not sure, but the little I've played with him, it seems great. Maybe Hannibal is still ahead. Oof, but it's close. It's really close. I think any of these are super defensible picks the vast majority of the time. But after that, the Witches, not that good. The Witches is probably somewhere here. Villain stuff is kind of villain stuff. The buff isn't that good. It's hard to kind of scale with it. It's just not that powerful. The Wizard Headmaster, on the other hand, very powerful. I think Wizard Headmaster is A rank ahead of the Piggy, but only by a little bit. Getting to just get good generic mages now, especially with the removal of some bad mages from the shared pool, makes Wizard Headmaster way better than it used to be. I think that it's incredibly strong, and we're going to see a lot more Wizard Headmaster play in the future. Zagreus is the worst captain. That's it. The worst. Moving on. Xian Yisao is really good. Probably somewhere over here. Yeah, that makes sense. It's Xian Yizhao is strong. Attacking with the pirates makes sense. It can be over consecutive turns, so you can set it for shops later. Anything that has extra shops has to be held pretty highly. It's less good than Jay Sparrow in terms of snowballing, but still very strong. I could see a world where Zenyi moves up too. I think I feel pretty okay with all this. It all kind of makes sense. It's pretty balanced up here. Yeah, I like it. The new season is going to be fun. I think that the new treasures are really going to have an impact, and I think mages in general are going to see to really shaking up the way the meta is. This is not a toy meta anymore. I think that we are in the world of mages and treasures, which is why I think Hannibal is probably going to end up being like down here. I think that's probably going to be where we go. Yeah, all right. That's it for me. If you like this video, make sure you check out the video where we review the new patch notes from the season. I will have that link in my description. I stream over at Echelon 3000 at twitch.tv. I'm streaming a lot of Once Upon a Galaxy as I climb through the ranks. And we're going to be doing more like real person lobby competitive play here soon too, so stay tuned for that. As always, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, and until then, the next video, have a good day.